Hey guys, I'm here to do a review on the movie Les Miserables, Les Miserables, something like that. I've wanted to see this movie for a long time, and I wanted to see it in the theater, but it was either I didn't have time, or whenever I had the opportunity to go to the theater, I wanted to see something else, which in this case was Skyfall. So this is the DVD, by the way. I probably would have gotten it on Blu-ray, but our Blu-ray player is just not right now. So, the DVD, it still looked really good on DVD and everything, and it comes with a digital copy, an ultraviolet copy. And it has a couple bonus features on it, you know, for the DVD. It has a commentary and a couple featurettes. I was very surprised at how this movie was made. When I think of a musical, I think of a movie that has songs in it, like Mary Poppins or The Music Man or The Unsinkable Molly Brown. You know, this movie basically from beginning to end is just one big song. That's the one way that I can describe it if you haven't seen it. Every line spoken is in a song. There's maybe one or two lines that aren't. Anne Hathaway, you know, won an Academy Award for her performance in this movie. And this is a spoiler alert in case you haven't seen it. Her character, she only has, I think, like, maybe 25 to 30 minutes of screen time out of a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. Her character dies, like, 20-30 minutes in. And I had kind of like a Janet Leigh effect, like Psycho, when she gets killed off in the first, like, half hour of the movie. But the movie is about Jean Valjean, played by Hugh Jackman. He's a slave at the beginning of the movie, and he ends up getting freed, and he gets put on parole for the rest of his life because he got arrested for stealing bread. And what happens is he goes to live with this priest, and this priest takes him in, kind of gives him some kindness, and Jean Valjean takes silver from this preacher, and he's going to steal it. And the preacher, the authorities catch him, bring him back, and the preacher lies and tells the police that he knew that he had taken the silver. And the police leave, and he tells Jean Valjean to take this silver and make a name for himself. So then the movie jumps, like, I think 8 years later, and Jean Valjean is now I think he's the mayor of the city. And he runs this shop where they make dresses, and Anne Hathaway's character, Fontaine, she is trying to support her daughter, which her name is, I cannot remember the daughter's name, but it's played by Amanda Seyfried. These characters right here. That's her as a little girl, that's her as an adult. And what happens is she ends up getting fired from her job because they find out what she's doing, raising money for her daughter. And she ends up going into this alley, becomes a prostitute, has sex with a few people, feels violated, and then Jean Valjean knew that she had been fired from his factory, goes to her and promises that he will take care of her daughter, and then she dies. So then he goes to these greedy people where her daughter is staying. They run an inn, and they like to steal. And Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter in this movie, and they play really good characters. And Jean Valjean takes the daughter, and then the movie jumps like another 8 years later, where she's an adult, and the movie takes place during the French Revolution. And the last half of the movie is basically she falls in love with this man that's fighting for the French Revolution, trying to overthrow the government. And Hugh Jackman's character is disappointed and sad that he might lose her. And it's just a very good movie. Although it was really good, I have to be honest, there were a few moments that I thought were kind of boring. But it isn't just because of this movie. Normally with any musical, there's always a song or a segment in the movie that I just don't like. You know, I just find it a bit boring. But I still liked it. It's a long movie, so if you don't like musicals and if you're going to be forced to watch this or whatever, make sure you've had a lot of sleep, because if you're not interested in this movie, I think you'll fall asleep if you've never seen it before. Great acting by Hugh Jackman. You know, I always thought Hugh Jackman is a very tough, manly guy, but he plays a very sympathetic character in this movie. Russell Crowe plays a cop that's constantly trying to find Jean Valjean throughout the entire movie. Great actor. Anne Hathaway. I've never really been a huge fan of Anne Hathaway, you know, and I've seen a lot of her movies. You know, this, The Dark Knight, the Princess Diary movies. What's the other one that I saw? Devil Wears Prada. But I still haven't seen her in a couple famous ones of hers, like Ella Enchanted, Havoc, Brokeback Mountain. But I'm not a huge fan of her, but she was pretty good in this movie. She's a really sympathetic actress. I do have the book, and it's like 1,000 pages long, so it's probably going to take me a while to finally read it. I thought this movie would sweep the Academy Awards when it came out, but it actually turned out that Argo was it was Argo and Life of Pi that were mainly the movies that swept up the awards. This movie, I think, won an Academy Award for costume design. Like Anne Hathaway won the Best Supporting Actress, but it didn't win any other awards, and it wasn't nominated for Best Picture. And I have seen Argo, and Argo is pretty good. I'll have to do a review on that movie as well. But a really good movie. This is the only adaptation of this movie that I've ever seen. And this is one of those stories that has probably 20 or 30 different adaptations. The most famous one is probably the 90s one with Liam Neeson. So I'll probably see that sometime. That one isn't a musical. And there's a whole bunch of other earlier ones made in the 50s and 60s. And I think there was one made in the 30s. But yeah, Les Mis, very good movie. Highly recommend it. Might bring a tear to your eye. So, you know, if you get emotional easily in a movie, it'd be probably wise to have tissues at hand. But really good movie. Cannot recommend it more.